So we've recently reviewed the Dell G16 gaming laptop, and it's turned out to be a very solid all-round gaming laptop that won't break the bank. But as always with Dell, when you configure the machine, you can choose the RAM and the SSDs that you want in the laptop. But Dell do charge you an absolute fortune if you want to increase the capacity of the SSDs or that RAM. Now by default, I chose the 1TB SSD in a 32GB RAM kit. And that 1TB SSD was quite a slow 30mm model, which is really unusual. And the RAM that we received is 4800 MHz. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to change a 30mm RAM slot to an 80mm. We're going to install a much faster SN850X as our primary drive. It's a 4TB model. And for our secondary drive, I'm putting in a 4TB, slightly cheaper and slower P3 Plus, because this is only going to be my games drive. Now you could, if you wanted to, put two 4TB SN850Xs, but these are expensive drives. And with regards to the RAM, I'm going to be testing out a 5600 MHz 64GB Fury kit. So hopefully we can get that working. Now being Dell, all the drivers and all the software you need is on Dell's website. So I'm going to be doing a fresh install on this machine. If you're not comfortable with doing a fresh install, you could just clone the drives. We've done plenty of videos of that in the past. But the problem I find with Dell installations is there's a lot of bloat on there that I don't want. So I like a clean installation. I'm going to need a USB stick. It needs to be at least 8GB. I've got a nice 32GB Kingston here. You head over to Microsoft and you download the latest Windows 11 ISO like CD creator. I'll put a link in the description below, and that will help you create an ISO flash drive with Windows 11 on it. Once I've completed that and my Windows 11 is ready to go, I then go to Dell's website, get all the latest drivers, put them on this flash drive. So I literally install this machine and have all my drivers ready to go with this just one device. And also to complete this operation, you're going to need a good toolkit. Personally, I love this iFixit Essentials toolkit. It won't break the bank, and this will give you everything that you need for essential maintenance on your laptops and mobile phones. This is a great kit, and again, I'm going to link it in the description below. So first things first, power down your machine, unplug it from the mains, and then flip it over. Now I'll normally put a mouse mat down on my desk and put the top onto the mouse mat to stop it scratching when you're working on the laptop. Then I'm going to take a Phillips screwdriver and I'm going to undo all of the screws on the base plate. You'll notice that the two side front screws are actually captive, so although they'll undo, they will not come away from the base plate. And the two front outer corner screws, as you undo those, they're also captive, but they actually push the base plate away from the laptop, making it very easy that once you've undone those screws, you can then run a pry tool across the front and lift that base plate away without doing any damage. It's a very, very easy operation. Now that we're inside, we can see straight away your actual SSD and your RAM slots. They're very easily accessible. But before we actually start any work, we're going to unplug the battery so that we don't do any damage. So first things first, I'm going to actually install my new SSDs. Now you'll notice here, I've got a 30mm drive in place, and I've also got a heatsink on my 2280 slot, which is my secondary slot. This is very unusual for Dell. Firstly, they don't normally give us a plate for the second slot, and the first slot being a 30mm is really strange. I'm going to remove the screw on that 30mm SSD and slide it away from the laptop, and then you'll notice the actual post that the actual SSD screws into, you can literally slide that towards you and lift it out. And if you'll notice now, you can move it to the 80mm slot, which is directly in line with my other 80mm slot here, and you can push that into place, and you've now made your 30mm into an 80mm slot. And again, with the other one, which is in the 80mm place, if you wanted it in the 30, you can do exactly the same with that one. You could pull it away from that 80mm and press it into the 30mm. But I want both of mine set up to 80mm drives because 80mm are much cheaper and available in much higher capacities. So my primary drive is my Western Digital SN850X. Now this is a double-sided SSD because it's over 2TB in capacity. There's not a lot of chips on the back of this SSD, but it won't work in a lot of laptops. But the good news on this Dell G16, there's a lot of space underneath the actual SSD itself. So 4TB drives fit absolutely perfectly in this laptop. So now I'm going to slide this drive into the laptop's M2 slot. And I'm going to take the spare M.2 heatsink that we had on the secondary drive, and I'm going to use that for this primary drive. These Western Digital drives run very hot, so you're going to want a heatsink on it. Now, if you don't have a heatsink provided with your Dell laptop, I'm going to put a link in the description below for some generic Amazon heatsinks that I've used in the past, and they do knock a good 10+ degrees off your SSD, or you can contact Dell and ask them to provide you an SSD for your slots, but they will probably charge you for that. Now that I've screwed the heatsink and the drive in place, I'm going to take my Crucial P3 Plus 4 terabytes, which is a slightly slower and cheaper drive, but that's going to go into my secondary slot for my games and storage. I'm not even going to bother with a heatsink on this one. It doesn't run anywhere near as hot as the Western Digital, and it's not going to get the same amount of use. But if I was bothered, I would put one of those cheaper heat plates on there. Now that the SSDs are installed, I'm going to unclip the existing RAM kit that I've got installed with my G16. And once I've unhooked the retention clips, I'm going to slide the existing RAM chips out, and I'm now going to place my Fury chips in. There's only one way these RAM chips will fit in, so if you just line the notch up to the actual socket, and you put it in at a 45-degree angle, push it into the socket, then place your fingers on the RAM chips, and push it in until the retention clips click into place. You'll hear a nice satisfying click when that RAM chip is seated. Do the same for the other chip. It's usually the other way around on most laptops. And then once that was also clipped in, you've now done your RAM and your SSDs. Last thing you need to do is plug your battery back in and screw the base plate on, and you're good to start it back up. So now that everything's back together, you put it back on your desk, pop in your mains PSU, and also get your flash drive that we created earlier on. Start the laptop up. Now, on the first boot, once you've changed the RAM, it will take a while to initialize and come up. Don't panic if it takes a good few seconds longer for the laptop to start up. It will start eventually, and once it does, it will probably tell you the clock is wrong and the RAM has changed. That's because you've unplugged the battery and we put new RAM in. Just click OK to that, and then we're going to then carry on and boot from that USB drive. Now, because both of these are fresh SSDs, we've got no operating system on this laptop, it will naturally boot to the actual USB once it realizes there's nothing on the SSDs, and Windows 11 will start to install. Once this flash drive has started up, it is just a case of following the prompts. So once the actual prompts come up, you choose Custom Installation, select the SSD, and install Windows 11. From there, you follow all of the prompts, sign yourself into your Microsoft account, and you are then in with a fresh Windows 11 installation. Now, obviously, there's no drivers installed, so the first thing we're going to need to do is install the drivers that you've downloaded to your flash drive to get all of your Dell drivers onto the laptop. From there, you can also use Windows Update, and that'll pick up the last of the drivers and all your critical updates to get this machine up to date. Now you'll see our 4TB drive is available to the system, but the second one will not be showing. You're going to need to go to Disk Management by right-clicking on your actual Windows flag, choosing Disk Management, and it will naturally pop up telling you there's another drive and it needs initializing. Again, follow the prompts to initialize it. Right-click that unformatted drive and select Create New Simple Partition. And once that drive is then formatted with your volume letter and name for the actual drive, you'll now have your two 4TB drives available to you. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to quickly check how the RAM is running, because obviously the laptop has started, but is it running at its 5600? So if I go to my system information or my task manager, unfortunately we can see that this RAM at 64GB kit is actually running at 5200, not 5600 megahertz. And that's exactly the same problem we had with the Alienware M18 when we upgraded that laptop. This is obviously a Dell limitation that they've decided to put on these machines. It's a bit of a shame, but at least this RAM is still running faster than the default 4800 megahertz RAM kits that Dell provide. And at least buying the 64GB Fury kit through Amazon was half the price of Dell's upgrades. This is still worthwhile free performance you're getting rather than using Dell's. So there we go, a very simple operation and a way you can save an awful lot of money to do this yourself rather than paying Dell to do it for you and getting subpar components. This way it's cheaper and we're choosing the quality components we want for this laptop. Now, as always, if you've got any question, put it in the comment section down below and I will get back to you. And lastly, thank you for watching.